podcast and knowledge empowers. As always with you is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. Then we have Baruch.
Hello.
And we have Collage.
Good morning, dobré ráno, everyone. Hello.
Hello. So I always love these mornings because we are always like, tired and so like puffed
Yeah, just
up
first coffee effect.
Exactly.
Not even that in my case.
Not even that, and the eyes are like so tiny.
Putting makeup on with closed eyes,
Not even that.
Then the mascara is all over the cheeks, like, holy crap. And Mr. Collage said that today we're going to talk about pretty difficult subject topic.
So today you're not gonna talk about in Korean your new words.
Okay.
You skip this intro. Come on.
I did say 안녕하세요, but okay, fair enough. I've learned new sentence, and I hope I won't make mistake now. 만나서 반가워요 means nice to meet you.
Thank you.
반가워요.
I'm looking forward when someone from Korea will find these videos and they will go for each episode and rewrite like, no, this is done wrong. This is said wrong.
A wrong pronunciation.
Wrong pronunciation. You just said, hello, this is elephant,
Hope not. Thankfully, I have a lector, so it's like when I exercise with my girls, and sometimes I go over some reps, and then it really burns, like your hands are burning. So of course in Slovak we say pali, so it's like burning, and I was like, oh, burning, but I was like pali, and the other colleague was like, Kid, do you know that means in Korean fire? And I'm like,
Quickly.
No, she means like fire, and I'm like, not that I don't want to believe you, but I have a lecture, so I'm gonna ask. And so I had my regular call with Sing Me, and I'm like, Sing Me, we have this word in Slovak which means pali. English is burning. What does that mean in Korean? And she was like, it means hurry. So when you say pali, it means hurry. So I now need to go back to my colleague and say, like, girl, you've made a mistake. It's not that I run. It means hurry. Not that I don't want to believe you, but I prefer my Korean colleague telling me what that means. So that's how I also learn a new word. Pali means hurry. So...
You can use that. You can use that on the workshops.
Exactly. Pali. Huh? Just hurry.
And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. We've all work in communities. We've observed other people. We run some workshops inside or outside of our companies. Whatever. I want to know if you have observed any unhealthy patterns of behaviors during these times, whether it's in work or outside of work, when people don't really cooperate. So instead of collaborating, they somehow break up the cooperation because of some target, because of some goals. So what are these unhealthy patterns, if you have noticed any?
You need to give me an example.
Okay, so one of those could be, for example, jealousy.
I notice a lot of unhealthy behavior during these times, and usually I think it stems from insecurity, not feeling safe, and like many people kind of stop listening in these scenarios where they don't feel safe, like they retreat to the behavior that makes them feel safe, and which is usually always selfish. And one of the things I notice is they just don't listen. For example, like these discussions with vaccines and whatever, like people are no, I will do my own thing, and this is not open for discussion.
insecurity is fine. I mean, and being selfish towards that, yeah. So they want to gain this security, you would say, through their behaviors, right? That's how I understand it. Okay.
I had something where actually for me it was a lesson learned that I then used on my future boss once I joined this company, and I asked her, please don't be scared of me. I don't know why I am so intimidating for some people, but some people are like scared of me. So the worst for me you can have if your own boss is scared of you and sees you as a competitor. But for me, that wasn't a problem for me. The problem was when my own people came to see me and said that my boss, somewhere in the kitchen, talking to other managers badly about me. And that can be heard, right? That's the problem with open spaces. So you need to be careful what you're doing. And so my usually answer was, ignore it. Look, till today, he still does whatever I need to be done. If I want to raise your salary, if I want to promote you to a specific project. So until he does all of this, he can talk about me rubbish. I don't mind, because you guys have your own experience with me. And so until that still works, I'm fine. But I felt sorry for my guys because they felt sorry for me and they had to go through that. And if I would be in the shoes of my own manager, I would do it differently. I would just literally lick the cherry out of the cake, and I would just keep promoting me and sort of taking that cherry. But I don't know why he felt, and again, I think he felt insecure with me, which is so strange. And also I was the only female manager among of another 10 male managers. So I really don't know. But it's a strange thing that I never ever want to have. And that's why I'm looking always for strong leaders who know who they are and rather see me, oh, that's a skillful person. And if I ask, these are my skills, please use them, that they use it fully and not like, oh my God, she could be my potential competitor. She can what's the point then? Then don't hire me.
So how I understand it, that there was some sort of rivalry and competition from the other person.
Just one person, yeah, not
just
from
one
me.
person, yeah, not the other one, and it resulted in some sort of a power play, bad mouthing, jealousy, some sort of like that. Okay,
but he never showed it in front of me.
Yep.
He only. And the worst was that he was damaging his own brand, because what he was talking about me and my own people heard it. They stopped liking him, and they they wanted to protect me. But I said, you don't need to protect me, because my job is to take care of you, and until that works, I'm fine. Like, I call it, if someone needs to measure their own penises, well, go ahead. I will not stop you.
Have you noticed the behavior? And now I will be talking not really about those negative ones, or how to call them, but there are also people, and I call it unhealthy as well, when you overwork yourself, you want to deliver too much.
That's good, no?
Could be.
Hold on.
Like, you overperform, you over-deliver, you are trying to be always there. Hold the manager says like, okay, I need a volunteer, and the person is like, me, pick me. Like that sort of a behavior.
I was that as well.
Ever since I was a team leader, so we go like years back, never ever, but everything until to that point. Actually, when I was the web production lead, right? That's when I was so stupid, and I worked like over hours, blah, blah, blah. But the only effect it had on me was me crying at home, right? I felt tired. There was never end of the work. It was just too much work. And there was one person that really opened my eyes, and he literally told me, Kat, you are so stupid. And I was like, why? And then he said to me, look at the effect it has. What did you achieve? Do you think that they will not release you or something just because you work that much and delivering that much? Are you happier? Do you have higher salary? I don't know. What kind of benefits does it bring? And that's when I realized it doesn't bring me anything. It only brought me more frustration. And
Not even a reputation?
No. Nothing. It was like, I was like a bag of a wreckage bag, crying like in a ball of nerves. I don't know. And then
that's how the song Wrecking Ball has been created, right? Yeah.
I was not in my knickers though. So,
Not yet.
and then because I got this type of a slap, a wording slap, like, Kat, you're so stupid. I started really thinking about it, and that's when I went and approached the manager, like, it's just too much. I can't deal with this. And then that's when the manager realized, well, probably we could hire another person because you are holding someone else's position, and you can only hold it for a certain period of time. Otherwise, you will restrain all of your energy. And actually, he hired another two. Just instead of just me being alone, suddenly we were three. Each of us working 8 hours, sometimes let's say 9, but 8. And you had the perfect balance, perfect performance, and everything.
Okay. Different behavior, if you notice something like that. So instead of, oh, you gave me a gift and I'm giving you a gift, so you did this to me and I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna revenge myself and I'm gonna do this for you. So have you met with this in the workplace?
I think I've met with it, not personally, but I've seen other people doing it to other people.
Okay.
I can't remember. I know we had few types like that in work.
Okay.
But I can't remember like
Specific. Okay.
example. Yeah.
Well, I can remember something like, oh, you didn't come to my meeting, I'm not gonna come to your meeting, or something like that, or you didn't cooperate with me on this project, I'm not gonna call you in.
I usually it was done more sneakily because people who did this usually knew it's not very acceptable, so they didn't kind of
They were quiet about
make it public knowledge that they are doing this.
Okay.
I'm really thinking so hard, like, because that's usually a behavior of kids, or when you're a teenager, let's say. So I could
all
go
of
back
these are
to
behavior of kids. Really.
I could go back to my elementary school, and I'm only hoping that I never did this during my work stuff as a professional, because that's so unprofessional. Except I had once a manager, but that was more of like, I don't want to say racist, or this. I want to say more discriminative, because he didn't want to have, like, he had a goal that everything, whatever will be done in one specific country, and he would use all the odds and everything against you just so he could make that decision to take that whole type of business away from here and give it into that country. I don't know.
Okay. And the last one, they didn't do anything and they were actually pretty cynical about it. Like, that's not going to work. I've tried that a million times. That's not going to work. Don't go into it. It's not worth it.
I think this one is kind of like, it's not necessarily bad. It's sometimes it's good when somebody tells you, like, if you are going to try the same thing again, like, when are you going to stop and realize it's not going to work? But at the same time, sometimes people say it even if you are not trying exactly the same thing. They're just really being cynical, as you say. And this happen. I think this happens quite often in corporations, especially if people are there for a long time. They don't see like a light at the end of the tunnel.
You don't see the silver lining.
Yeah, exactly.
But funny enough, for me, that sentence is my kickoff. It's like, for me, that's my fuel. If someone tells me, no, don't do it, it's impossible, no, you can't do it, for me, that's my fuel. And I just go, no, I'll show you it's possible. Or vice versa, I can say, okay, maybe not now. Let me put that in a shelf for, let's say, a year and revisit that thing in 1 year. But it's really funny that for me, that thing is my fuel. My head sometimes, grabs different things.
I agree with you, Baruch, what you said about that it happens that when a person tries several times something and it doesn't work, that they some sort of lost the energy and trust, and they will go into some sort of apathy. And these are actually, I think, Baruch, you mentioned it, these are 4 inappropriate goals for kids, what we're talking about.
Yes, they're all kids' behaviors, I think.
Yeah, they are all kids' behaviors, but we transfer them as adults as well. That's what I've observed. Whatever it comes, and it's Dreikurs who defined 4 of those. So first one is to get power, to fight for the power and be the more powerful one. It's usually when a kid talks back or your friend talks back in terms that, like unhealthy talking back. You're an idiot, that's the power struggle. There is this attention seeking, like pick me, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's the attention part, where they are overly trying to get your attention. It also comes with the jokes, when like you have the meetings and he does something inappropriate and all the attention suddenly turns to him. Like, for example, you have a workshop and somebody is the funny guy there, but overly funny, even when he isn't supposed to be. Those are the attention seekers. The third one is the revenge. So you did this to me, I'm going to do that to you. With kids, it's like, okay, so you told me that I can't go out, so I'm going to break plates or whatever, break the furniture right now. In work relationship, like we were talking, it's not that obvious because the revenge is not nice to do, obviously. So we do these manipulative games and we get our revenge different ways, but it's still there. The target is there. And the fourth one is the apathy. It's the learned helplessness. So it's when you tried so many times that you actually gave up, and you are in a state when you don't want to give a shit about anything.
Isn't that also a form of attention seeking? Like, hey, look, I'm not going to do anything because
usually
you already asked me to do it before.
Those people don't seek for the attention. You don't usually notice them. You notice them.
Well, you don't notice them, but they want your attention.
If they want if they want your attention, they will do it somehow. They won't be passive about it. They will be actively seeking the attention. Like I had a friend who was talking about their guy in the office, in the work, and he was some sort of a low performer, and they've tried to somehow include him in things, and what they observed is that even when they had some sort of like improvement plans for him, like one-on-ones and all these sessions, he improved for like a month or 2 to avoid punishment, but then he returned back to his old behavior and he didn't care. He just sat there and didn't do anything. My friend was talking to me that even everybody knew that he's not going to deliver, and he's like sitting 4 hours a day doing nothing, but nobody was able to somehow create this energy for him to let them work or make him work with them. And it comes from this nice story how to imagine this sort of apathy, this state of learned helplessness. It's how they do it with the circus animals. I've read this nice story with an elephant. So why an elephant, when he's grown up, doesn't run away from a circus? When he's small, like with a small elephant, what they do is that they gave him a huge neck chain.
Okay.
And put it to the ground. And since he's trying to escape, but the chain is too heavy, too big. So as a small elephant, he can't run away. And he learns that he can't do it. So when he grows up, he has still the same experience that I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So they just put a chain. He doesn't even need to be noted down to the ground. Just the effect of the chain on the neck will create the effect that I can't run away.
Whoa.
And that's the learned helplessness. That's how you can imagine it. So this is what happens with your kids or with our friends or with our colleagues in a working environment. They feel that there is this sort of chain, and suddenly if it's not there, they are not going to recognize it. There is this brand new readership, like, oh, we can do changes and I'm going to help you. And that person is like, no, nothing's going to change, whatever changed. No.
What would be the imaginary color in this situation? What's triggering this reaction?
Well, it's the learning behind it. It's the learning that you can't change the thing. Although you try, at the end, nobody cares, or it's not going to change.
But are there some specific things, like, let's say, some words or some actions that people do that triggers it?
It's more of the experience itself. So,
okay.
So how can you change their behavior? How can you show them, or how can you remove that helplessness? What kind of steps should you take?
That's a really good.
He's going to turn this against us.
No. I'm not going to turn it against you.
I want to answer. Don't you dare to give me a question on my question.
No. I'm going to answer. Oh, man, this turned against me. No, the answer is there, and it will be another podcast for us. It will be about IKEA effect.
No.
How to use IKEA effect in your work, how to use cognitive behavior therapy in your work, how to use these two things to change the mindset. Because when we're talking about the power, about the attention, about the revenge, all these things are easy to change, or much easier for me to change from my perspective, because there is energy and you can redirect the energy. You can discuss it and work it out somehow. You can set up new rules or something like that. But with this inadequacy, with this learned helplessness, you need to build the trust, which is really hard, and you need to build the energy, which is even harder. You need to show them that it's working somehow, that there are some low-hanging fruits which can apply and do it. So we'll look into how to turn this helplessness into some working material.
Ooh, cannot wait. And that's how we are now ending our today's session. From my side, 수고하셨습니다.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.